What's going on, brothers and sisters? Chris here from Namaste Gaming, and today I've got a patch discussion / review kind of video for you. We've got a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. We're just going to skim over most of the quality of life features right now. I have no real complaints with any of it, although I'd definitely like to see an option to display additional currencies like karma or maybe badges alongside the gold counter in the bag window. Aside from that, I love the account wallet. It's a brilliant feature and should be standard in any MMO at this point, really. I think that MMO gamers as a community have kind of become hip to the tricks that companies use to sell things like extra bag slots and bank space and that sort of thing, so it's nice to see ANET make the decision to not artificially inflate the value of free space with stupid bank-occupying tokens. It's pretty rare to see a company actually spend developer resources on making a change that will likely cost them cash shop revenue, so props to good guy ArenaNet for hooking us up with the extra space. I bought an extra bank slot to celebrate. Now I can store all the skins, which kind of makes me sound like a serial killer. Lovely. Next topic. The Crown Pavilion. Damn, this place is awesome. This is the kind of farming that people trying to get their legendary have been begging for since Cursed Shore first got nerfed. It's funny because if you look at it, it almost seems like something the devs would make on a bet. Think about it, it's just a big circle with reused textures and mobs, and we run around in a giant Zerg collecting as much loot and karma as we can get our grubby little hands on, and pretty much everyone I've talked to is stoked about it, including me. It's pandering to the grindier aspects of the genre that we allegedly bought this game to avoid, and yet here we are. People are funny like that. What do you guys think? Is it the temporary nature of the content that made us embrace the loot and karma carousel of the Crown Pavilion? Or are we all just full of crap and secretly longing for a mindless grind? I kind of feel like I'm using the former to rationalize the latter, personally. Either way, loot carousel ahoy! As far as the bosses go, they're well done for the most part. Kurai the Centaur is kind of an OP dickbag, but the other fights are all pretty enjoyable, and while they're easy enough to do in full Magic Find gear, they still require paying attention and dodging and actually using your skills, so I haven't really gotten bored with them yet, despite doing them for hours pretty much every day since the patch. I've gotta say though, Shurak the Ogre, bro, you need to talk to your event boss's union rep, because you got screwed as far as special abilities go. Kurai gets a badass barrage, Wiggy reflects projectiles and has artillery, Boom Boom Shadow Steps has millions of bros, and she has really big bombs, and meanwhile you get your own personal aviary? Might be time to look for another line of work. I'll be doing a follow-up video on the Queen's Gauntlet. I really want to get stuck into it properly before I say anything about it, but I will say that my extremely limited experience with it was pretty neat, and it seems like it can be pretty rewarding, especially if you're capable of clearing it with a few gambits. More on that one later this week if all goes well. As far as the open world content for the Jubilee, it's pretty standard fare. Nothing overly engaging, but it's definitely leaps and bounds ahead of a lot of the open world content included in the previous festival type events, since a lot of that stuff was downright annoying. The new champion loot is wonderful, and I can't wait for them to implement the Ascended Armor and Precursor crafting to give us some motivation to get out into the open world and do some hunting in some of the more neglected zones. I mentioned it in my patch preview video already, but man, if they can get some of that Monster Hunter flavor in here, that's going to be pretty damn epic. Of course, the downside of the champ loot is that I'm not even done making Twilight, and I already want the Rapier for my Mesmer, Entropy, which is the crazy looking purple and black hammer that radiates pure chaos, for my Warrior, and Genesis, which is Entropy's shining, golden, goody-goody sister, for my Guardian. And that's about 300 gold that I will most definitely not have anytime soon. Feels bad, man. Oh well, something to work for in the far-flung future, I suppose. Anyway, my feelings on the update so far, tremendous. Best update ever. I don't know why I like it so much, but I do, and on that note, I should probably get back to farming, because Twilight ain't gonna make itself. As always, let me know what you guys think about the patch content in the comments section, and we'll get some discussion going. Before I bounce, just a quick plug for the guild. We've got a growing roster, we're picking up about 3 or 4 new members a day, and so far, it's all you guys. We haven't been recruiting outside of YouTube at all yet, which has actually made for a really cool little community. Turns out most of you guys are even more awesome than I assumed, and I'm really happy to have the opportunity to be a part of this thing. If you'd like to join, get in touch with myself or Rysalea. Our contact info is in the description. She's faster, but I could totally take her in a fight, probably, so choose wisely. As far as rules go, we ask only 2 things. Rep us more often than not, because if you're not repping, you're not taking part in guild chat, which makes getting to know each other kinda tough. And aside from that, just in general, don't be a dick. Pretty simple. All our contact info, as I mentioned, is in the description below. That's all I've got for you awesome folks today. If you enjoyed it, let me know by clicking the like button, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Much love to each and every one of you. Stay black.